wife of Anambra State Governor Mrs. Nonye Soludo has dismissed allegations of infidelity made by Senator Uche Ekwunife, deputy governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress. In a statement on Saturday, Soludo described the claims as willful and malicious and gave Ekwunife 72 hours to withdraw them and issue a public apology or face legal action. The allegations made in a viral video linked Soludo to the late Governor Chinwoke Mbadinuju and questioned the paternity of her children. Responding, Soludo said she never met Mbadinuju and maintained that in her 55 years, she has only known her husband, Governor Chukwuma Soludo, insisting on her fidelity throughout 33 years of marriage. She challenged Ekwunife to swear an oath of fidelity before the Catholic Church and proposed DNA tests for both families in 3 London hospitals, offering to cover all costs. The face-off between Soludo and Ekwunife is unfolding less than 2 months before the November 8th governorship election in Anambra State. Talk about washing all of those lenients in public. What are your thoughts on this report?
I don't think this is where we should be as a people. I don't think this is what we should be discussing going into an election. Anambra State, indeed, like people will argue, every other state in Nigeria is a key state. Right. In Nigeria, especially in the southeast. Right. It's a state that have the potential of being an industrial hub. Going into an election, especially considering its antecedent in the past, even producing someone like Peter, we should be discussing issues. We should be discussing important, policy questions that would drive the state to a further level. The incumbent should be displaying what it has done in its 4 years. Right. Why, trying to justify why it deserves another term, not getting into the mud with the opponent. This whole thing started with the governor himself alleging that Ekwunife, who is the deputy governorship aspirant of the APC, has a forged or a PhD certificate from, how did he put it, from an unaccredited university, foreign university, and all that, and then, I made some derogatory statement against her, and then the woman responded. Of course, I don't want to say typical of women, but you know what to say. You don't about not getting into the wrong book of a woman and all that, and I'm not saying that when one finger gets immersed in an oil, that oil goes around the other finger. Right. So unfortunately, the first lady of the Anambra State, which is Soludo's wife, has been dragged into this mud. But I think it would be in her own interest to just don't get involved in this dirty business ongoing now. Now, this is not to say if she feels that her character has been defamed, she cannot. Isn't her character being defamed? Yes, she cannot seek legal action. But I think it would be in her best interest that if she strongly believes that her character has been defamed, she should take a legal action than making it a subject. I mean, the media is awash every day. Even some bloggers, I mean, dwelling on these two characters, it's not going to do them any good. It's going to. Now, the subject matter, the question is not whether those allegations are truth or not. It's not something apart from now. The question of forged certificate and all would be of interest to an observer, but the issue of marital fidelity and infidelity is not something we really want to be, especially since she's not the one elected, it's her husband. But she was dragged into it. Exactly, she was dragged into it. But that's what I'm saying, exactly that. That's not the issue we want to be. Unfortunately, the media is giving it, of course, as they say, bad news is good news for the media. They're hyping it, making it all over the place. But that shouldn't be what our focus is now. The focus should be on the November election. What are the policy questions before the contenders? How are they answering this question? What are the real challenges facing the people of Anambra? How can these persons vying for position answer these questions if given the opportunity? That should be our interest, not whose wife slept with who. Unfortunately, another person has even been dragged in. Chinwoke Mbadinuju is the first governor in the present Fourth Republic. Right. Now, having been dragged in, his family may also be dragged in, even if I'm not sure if the man is still here
no, he's not here anymore.
Yeah, so you are dragging the family. This whole thing is going to snowball into sort of a family war, which is not needed. After politics has come and gone, after the November elections have come and gone, how will these people relate with themselves? So I don't think this type of news should be making
not to actually take sides in all of this, but you know, Ekwunife is trying to come into governance. What are your views as regards, you know, political vying political seat holders, and the way they, you know, this sort of outburst from someone that is vying to come into office?
No, unfortunately,
I'm talking about having intelligent argument, conversations, as opposed to dragging with who had an affair and who does not have an affair. What does that say about people, incoming people and people in governance?
Yeah, you know, she was trying to more like retaliate because the governor who has
do you think this angle is an intelligent retaliation?
No, it's not. But also, we also have to caution. You know, like they say, those in glass house should not throw stone.
Right.
It has become a characteristics of the incumbent governor of Anambra State to get involved in many dirty fight, and it belittles the position of a governor. It belittles the position of a professor. He is somebody that most Nigerians respected before he became the governor of Anambra State. He had an antecedent as a renowned economist. He was the governor of CBN. He did a lot with the bank capitalization and all that. The ordinary person would give him a thumb up. Then he became the governor of Anambra State. He seems to have thrown everything into the wind. He seems to have forgotten his antecedent. And this raises a whole lot of issues, you know. The thing is that those, like I said, those in glass house should not throw stone. Those, we should get to a situation where we demand it from those who occupy public office or who are vying for office. So focus on the issue. I must say that the governor himself didn't do it by throwing that at Ekwunife. The question should have been, I mean, it shouldn't be character assassination. If he truly had a case of her certificate not being properly procured, he should have done something. There is a proper way to channel that argument than to make it a character assassination thing. And like I said earlier on, it has become a characteristic of him. He is either fighting Obi, he's either fighting one, you know. I mean, it doesn't say well. Unfortunately, his poor wife has been dragged into the mud, and issues of fidelity and infidelity is not something women, rightly so, to take lightly. You know,
especially paternity fraud.
Yes, especially paternity fraud, which is why I think that if she's aggrieved, and I expect her to be aggrieved, but it's one thing to be aggrieved, it's another thing to decide to let go, to see it as maybe you know, somebody drowning trying to pull somebody down or something like that. You could give her but if she really wants to make a case out of it, I think it's proper she approach the court rather than giving bloggers what to feast on every day, coming to the media to explain to us her 33 years of marriage, how she was a virgin, you know, does not answer the real question facing the people of Anambra State. Whether the governor's mouth is smelling like Ekwunife said, does not answer the question facing the people of Anambra State. The people of Anambra State, and indeed every part of Nigeria, need real answers to critical issues that face them. They need people who would come with solutions, not people who would come to dent characters. That is not what governance is about. Unfortunately, we are still here today.
Right.